Hey, today we are going to make up a small batch of seed starting mix from some bulk material we bought, bigger bags. It's going to be a little less expensive than the store-bought in the 2-pound or 8-quart bag of seed starting mix. So what you're going to need is you're going to need compost, whether it's your own or whether you buy it in a bag. We had to buy it in a bag because I don't have enough on hand to do this. You need peat moss or the equivalent. You need vermiculite or pearlite. You can use either one or both. We're just going to use those 3 ingredients, and we're going to show you the combination of each one and how to make your own seed starter mix. So that's going to be a little more economical. I know that we're on a budget here. I mean, I've got so much I can spend on my crop, so I have to save the money, and there's no sense in spending extra money on something you can do and get the same or better quality for less money. So that just makes common sense, and most people, if you're just starting a few seeds, the bag of premixed is fine. If you're going to be starting several trays of seeds, you need to think about making your own seed starter mix, because it's going to be more economical. You can spend that money somewhere else. So let's get started. All right, your first thing is you're going to add 4 parts of compost. We're using this size. Whatever is equal measurements, that's a part. We use this as a part. If you use a shovel as a part, if you use a 55-gallon drum as one part, as long as they're the same. So we're using 4 parts, or 4 of these, of compost. All right, that's 4 of those. All right, there's your 1 part of vermiculite. All right, that's our 2-part peat moss, and I don't think my cup's going to survive anymore. We'll have to get a new cup. All right. Now, we just mix that up. Maybe chunks in there, you need to break those up. And another thing, if you're going to be getting this in January or February, even March, the temperatures have been cold a few days, you may want to think about this ahead of time, because you'll end up with some frozen product and it's going to be a little harder to measure out and mix up. Telling you about the frozen. This was outside and it was a pretty chilly night last night, so this is frozen. And I wouldn't recommend doing this on your kitchen table. It's going to be a little messy, especially if you've got a container where it just barely fits like I do. Mix this up dry. I would do it for at least a minimal amount, even if you're going to use it now. I'd mix it up dry a little bit, get it roughly mixed up, and before you ever start adding water to your mix. It's a lighter mix than a soil. It's going to give those seeds an easier way out through that layer of material to get to the sunlight and get started. It's also going to be easier for that plant to get its roots started in, so it will grow a little faster. Now if you keep it in this mix very long, the compost has got lots of nutrients in it, so you may have to add a little bit of liquid nutrients to it if you're growing these for 8 weeks or so. Just kind of watch your plant. If they start to yellow, or if they stall on you, it's possible that you may have to add some fertilizer. You do not want to add too much, because they will get root bound and make that harder for the plant to get started outside in the garden later. All right, we've got that roughly mixed. All right, there you have it. And we've got almost that same amount of mix we had from the bag mix that I bought, 8 quarts. And we did it for pennies on the dollar on that. Because I used very little of each one of the bags I bought to make this. I could probably make nearly 100 pounds of seed starter mix with material I bought, and I didn't pay. And per pound, this is going to be a fraction of the cost of buying a pre-made seed mix. Okay, so that formula was 4 parts compost, 2 parts peat moss, 1 part vermiculite. Now, I didn't make this up on my own. I did some research, found some sites that had similar recipes on, so I kind of looked through all those and kind of made a combination of what I could do. So that's basic formula. If you go anywhere and look that up, that's going to be your basic formula for seed starter mix. Now the peat moss, it comes from peat bogs in Canada. That's where we get it from. And there is some controversy on using that because it's destroying some of the peat bogs. So there are some alternatives out there. At this particular time, I could not find any, so I went ahead and used the peat moss. Bought 1 bag. That 1 bag will probably do me for 3 or 4 years. Compost, of course, that is just composted organic material. If you purchase it, it's probably going to be made up of twigs and leaves and just whatever else they can get their whole hands on. You can get composted manure, which is manure of some type mixed with other organic material. Or you can have your own compost, which is probably the best way to go. It does take a little more effort, but you will end up getting with a better product, and you will know what it's made of, and it's going to be a higher quality product. Vermiculite is a natural occurring mineral, and when you heat it, it expands and it kind of flakes off. It will absorb moisture, help hold moisture, it helps loosen dense soils. So that kind of goes in there with the peat moss and the compost to create a soil that will hold moisture, but not excessive moisture. It will hold moisture for the plant, but will not keep the plant in water. So if it's drained well. So the first thing you need to do, of course, seed mix is wet it is what I recommend before you put it in the pots. It's a little harder to absorb moisture right off the bat. You kind of have to break the surface tension by mixing that together, and then it will absorb that water up, and from then on it will absorb water very easily and hold water very easily. So that is our seed mix. So count your blessings every day, and I believe you will find that you are blessed well beyond measure. I know that I am. God bless.